Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Lots of sunshine, plenty of oxygen, the birds are chirping. Oh well, things don't always turn out the way you want it to. I wanted sunlight, instead I got rain, and so here I am now enjoying pumpkin spice and walnut milk, which is delicious, by the way. Check out the recipe, I put it in the description below. Unfortunately, there are people all over the world that feel as though they're losing control over their ability to create and sustain peace. It's a terrible feeling, it's a constant state of fear, I know it well. It's called anxiety. I know it's scary, but the only way we can conquer our fears is if we understand it and then we face it head on. So let's just do it. Right now, anxiety is the most common mental health illness in the United States. It affects over 40 million Americans. That's 18.1% of the population. And likely, if you're watching this video, it affects you as well, or someone you deeply care about. I also think it's really important to point out the difference between nervousness and severe anxiety, like depression and being sad. It's normal to feel sad every now and then. It's normal to feel nervous every now and then. Before I'm doing a video or teaching a class, sometimes I get a little nervous. That's not the same as severe anxiety. So let me explain what severe anxiety feels like if you're not familiar, and if you are familiar, this will make sense to you. So what is anxiety? Well, here's the definition. A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with uncertain outcome. A nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior and panic attacks. Anxiety symptoms are a combination of mental and physical. They include chest tightness, difficulty breathing, palpitations, sweating, dry mouth, looping thoughts. The fear of anxiety or avoiding anxiety keeps us from experiencing life fully. Anxiety is a useful tool because it's the body trying to protect itself from danger, like if you're standing too close to a cliff or if you have priorities that you've got to get done. The problem comes into play when we feel severe anxiety and we're actually safe. So in totally normal situations, it's far easier to get stressed out. You can be socializing with a group of people and suddenly feel a sense of paranoia. People with severe anxiety tend to have lots of trouble sleeping because they can't turn off their thoughts. Many people turn to drugs and alcohol as a form of self-medication. This includes legal and illegal substances. I'm personally very passionate about this particular topic because I used to suffer from severe anxiety in my late teens and early 20s. It is a constant state of fear. It's something that I was able to reverse, so I haven't experienced it in over 15 years. So if you are struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, nervousness, make sure you stay tuned for the entire video because I'm going to give you 5 really great tips that I use to reverse it. I want to make it clear that I am not a physician and I am not telling you to stop listening to your doctor or therapist or that you stop taking prescription medication. I do suggest, however, that you find a licensed physician or therapist that consider integrative modalities to health so they understand all possible causes and solutions instead of a narrow-minded conventional perspective. For me, it took a total transformation in my diet and lifestyle choices that could be very overwhelming for many people, but I kept coming back to the same basic and yet powerful concept. I wanted to live. I'm Rodney Dotson. I'm a life coach and health practitioner. I focus on detox, nutrition, natural medicine, meditation, and all things holistic. Looking back, retrospect, if I went to a psychiatrist at the time, what would they have told me? What psychiatrists are trained to tell people because they typically don't understand how nutrition and natural health works. I have a chemical imbalance and I've got to be put on psychotropic drugs. A comprehensive study entitled Death by Medicine found that more than 780,000 Americans die every single year from medical intervention, the equivalent of 6 jumbo jets filled with passengers falling out of the sky every day. Over 150,000 people in the US die every single year from taking pharmaceutical drugs, and these were people who took the drugs as directed by their physicians. Overdose deaths involving FDA-approved drugs such as Xanax, Valium, Ativan, etc. are commonly used to treat anxiety, phobia, panic attacks, seizures, and insomnia, quadrupled between 2002 and 2015, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Data was gathered by Express Scripts as part of a 5-year study analyzing mental health prescriptions. Express Scripts administered prescription drug benefits for millions of Americans who receive insurance through their employers. The report was based on a sampling of over 21 million people. Until Corona hit, many of the drugs had seen a decrease in use. Anxiety prescriptions fell by 12.1%, and insomnia medication dropped by 11.3% over the last 5 years. However, Americans are taking 34% more anxiety meds since Corona started. Obviously, stress levels increased and people ran straight to the drugs. One thing that really bugs me about the medical industry is they don't focus enough on the cause of an illness. The only way you can figure out a viable solution is to understand what caused it to begin with. Instead, they focus an awful lot on masking symptoms after you've been diagnosed with the disease. So what causes severe panic attacks, nervousness, and anxiety? Well, scientists are linking it back to a few different factors. One of them is neurotransmission synthesis, which is the body's ability to create serotonin, dopamine, and other happy hormones with omegas. You may be deficient in that. Also, an imbalance of hormones in the body, we'll talk more about that later. Too much cortisol being released, which is caused by adrenal fatigue typically, and an unhealthy gut. Your gut is your second brain. If that's not healthy, you're prone to all kinds of illnesses, including neurological disorders. Make sure to check out my group Holistic Healing. I'll put the link in the description below. There's a lot of support there that you guys can check out. I also do one-on-ones, so you can always contact me, and I have plenty of classes that you guys can attend as well. If you guys are liking this video so far, make sure you comment below with any questions or your opinion. We'd love to read them. Also, click like and subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell button to be alerted every time I come out with a new video, and let's get started. I completely changed my diet. I stopped eating conventional processed refined foods, went all organic, made sure that all the food that I ate, I checked the ingredients and the labels, and that it came from a natural source. We receive our nutrients from the earth. Make sure to watch my other health videos to learn more about how that works, but the food you consume on a daily basis will help heal you or it will contribute to your illness. That includes neurological illness. So do not consume conventional processed refined foods. Everything with artificial flavors, preservatives, or synthetic chemicals, get rid of it. Replace everything with whole foods, which means foods straight from the source. Now the point here is to get lots of raw nutrients into your diet because malnutrition is a huge contributor to illness. If your body is lacking something, it's going to malfunction. Most popular vitamins on the market are actually synthetic, fragmented, and isolated, as your body doesn't even recognize them. Get your nutrients from whole food supplements and real food. Here are some worthy mentions of specific nutrients to combat anxiety. Magnesium, and you can find it in pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews, spinach, avocado, banana. Vitamin D, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and you can find them in things like sardines, egg yolks, mushrooms. Omega-3, and remember we spoke about this before, the process of neurosynthesis, which is where the body turns omegas into happy chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. So you can find omega-3 in salmon, sardines, flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. I removed all toxins from my home and I went totally green. Food. Isn't it crazy that food can be so bad in so many ways when it comes from a terrible source? Most food in the Western world isn't just depleted of nutrients, it's very toxic. Steer clear of processed foods and produce with pesticides. Okay, these are probably the most obvious: cigarettes, excessive alcohol, and synthetic drugs. Basically, if you have anxiety and your life resembles this at all, you might want to rethink your lifestyle. To many, this might seem obvious, but I'll bet someone's watching this right now shocked, realizing how true this is for them. Don't worry, I was there once too. You'll be much happier on the other side, trust me. Synthetic cleaning products. If you have to wear a surgical mask and gloves, it's probably not good for you. And does it make sense to kill germs in your home with chemicals that destroy your own body in the process anyway? Personal care products, toothpaste, deodorant, skincare, cosmetics. Go check your ingredients out right now. Your skin absorbs over 60% of the stuff you put onto it within 26 seconds. Keep it green. Air fresheners and fragrances. The only true fragrance are the essences of plants, but most fragrances found in your air fresheners and personal care items are synthetic perfumes made in a laboratory, very toxic to the body. You may not know this, but the EPA, which is a US government agency put in place to protect us, has only reviewed less than 17% of the chemicals found in our cleaning products and personal care products for safety. Think about it. Something else that a lot of people don't think about as often as they should is clean water. The tap water in the United States, at least, is filled with fluoride, arsenic, heavy metals, traces of pharmaceutical drugs. It doesn't matter if you're drinking it or cooking with it, it still has those toxins in there. In fact, heating the water can make it worse because it increases the toxicity. Remember when I mentioned that 60% of the products that people put on their skin enters the bloodstream? Well, it's more easily absorbed through the bottoms of your feet. So think about someone who takes a shower in tap water. The tap chemicals, in addition to that, the synthetic soap they're probably putting on their hair and skin, as well as the residue from their cleaning products in the tub, all mixing together beneath the feet like a toxic soup entering the bloodstream. Not to mention, they're also breathing it in. And of course, this list wouldn't be complete without the legal drugs. Drug companies can't patent nature, so instead, they make a synthetic version in a laboratory. Problem is, synthetics are poisons to the body, and poisons compile toxic overload, which malfunctions the body's ability to work properly. Symptoms include a plethora of side effects, including, but not exclusive to, anxiety. So with everything I've covered so far and some of the steps that I've gone over, is there anything that scares you, or is there anything you've struggled with personally? Comment below and let us know. I bet you're not alone. Something else I realized about myself later on is the PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, that I was probably experiencing from past events that were unresolved. So rewiring the brain, working on affirmations, different techniques is so key. Okay, so from a spiritual perspective, according to Eckhart Tolle, which is one of the most renowned spiritual speakers in the world, there's something called the pain body. Basically, the pain body is every emotional pain that you have ever experienced, which leaves behind a residue of pain that lives inside you. It merges with the pain from the past, which was already there, and becomes lodged into your mind and body. This, of course, includes the pain you suffer as a child caused by the unconsciousness of the world into which you were born. Tolle even suggests that the pain body is an invisible entity in its own right. This accumulated pain is a negative energy field that occupies your body and mind. If you look on it as an invisible entity, you are getting closer to the truth. It's an emotional pain body, and unless resolved, it can easily trigger emotions like depression, rage, and anxiety. From a science perspective, you can actually rewire the brain. Not long ago, scientists believed that the brain was hardwired by the time you reached adulthood, that after a certain age, it couldn't be changed. But the most advanced brain scan imaging technologies have recently led to advances in our own understanding of neuroscience that have proved this to be false. The brain can and does change, constantly adapting to its surroundings. The brain's ability to change and adapt is called neuroplasticity. At the back end, it is our neuroplasticity that is on all the time. That's the mystery behind our comfort zone. For example, if we have always taken a specific route to work, then we would always want to take that route unconsciously. Now, if you have consciously thought about taking another route, you may feel more resistance because it has become part of your comfort zone. That's the wiring our brain has, and due to repetition, now has become part of your memory and your belief system, including fears and anxieties and triggers. That is what the subconscious program is all about. And whenever you try breaking that consciously, you will face stiff challenges. Rewiring the brain isn't easy, and it takes consistent techniques. It changes your brain's chemistry, releasing less cortisol, adrenaline, and other stress hormones under safe situations. Exercise, it's super important for everyone. I have a high metabolism, so I don't have trouble with gaining weight, but still, I need about 30 minutes each day of cardio for overall health and neurological support. A study from the Journal of Neuroscience revealed that exercising creates new excitable neurons along with new neurons designed to release the GABA neurotransmitter, which inhibits excessive neuronal firing, helping to induce natural state of calm. While the creation of excitable neurons through exercise would ordinarily induce anxiety, exercise fixes this problem by also creating calm-inducing GABA-releasing neurons. The mood-boosting benefits of exercise occur both immediately after working out and continue on in the long run. In addition to the creation of new neurons, including those that release the calming neurotransmitter GABA, exercise boosts levels of potent brain chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, which may help buffer some of the effects of stress. About 90% of illnesses are linked to your gut and colon. Your gut also serves as your second brain. It produces more neurotransmitter serotonin than your brain does, which is known to have positive influence on your mood. Boost your gut health by reseeding your gut with beneficial bacteria derived from fermented foods and high-quality probiotic supplements. Remember, synthetic antibiotics destroy your gut and leave your body more susceptible to future pathogenic infection, including neurological disorders and other illnesses. You can replace most of that with natural medicines. Now you guys know my personal story dealing with anxiety and reversing it, but remember that no one can heal you. You're the only person who can do that, but I hope that I can empower you to take those steps in the right direction. Last thought, please remember that none of this will mean anything in your life unless you take action. I know there was lots of information here, and I want to make sure you feel supported with tools and resources you really need to make this happen. Remember that I have lots of videos all focused on natural health and holistic healing, everything from nutrition to detox to spirituality, rewiring the brain. Make sure to go check them out. So the next time you're caught in a storm, you'll have your fairy godbrother to guide you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you found value, make sure you share with other people. Comment below with any questions or concerns, or if you have an opinion, I'd love to read it. Click like and subscribe, hit that bell button so you can be alerted every time I come out with a new video, and as always, make sure you keep it holistic.